and food. The 10-day Durga Puja festival culminated on Dussehra, which symbolizes the triumph of good over evil. Those were the visuals from parts of India and Bangladesh. Hello and welcome to Inside South Asia. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. Let's begin. The 2025 edition of Asia's biggest cricket showdown, the Asia Cup, late last month, turned the sports field into a high-stakes geopolitical battleground. Eagerly awaited India-Pakistan matches reflected not cricket, but a deep-seated animosity that has intensified after the Pahalgam terror attack and Operation Sindoor. The proxy war on the field marked the lowest point in India-Pakistan sporting relations.
Cricket diplomacy, as it was called, is now firmly a thing of the past. The hope that cricket could build bridges between the neighbours is well and truly dead. Not competition, India-Pakistan hate was the biggest takeaway at the Asia Cup this year. Right through and after their 3 matches, an ugly non-cordiality stood out. Right up front, India's firm no to the traditional pre- and post-match handshake. At tosses and presentation ceremonies, players kept a distinctly volatile distance. This was not normal, this was personal. Then the row around match referee Andy Pycroft, who Pakistan believed played a part in the no handshake saga. The PCB wanted him removed from the tournament. He wasn't. Perhaps biggest of all, post the final, the trophy boycott. Team India was firm it wouldn't accept the Winners' Cup from Pakistan Minister Mohsin Naqvi. Naqvi reportedly left the venue and took the trophy with him. The champions celebrated without the cup, and the medals too were taken away. The message was clear. Politics had invaded the cricket pitch, front and centre. But the controversies didn't end there. Pakistani players fired off gunshot celebrations and mimicked crashing airplanes. Haris Rauf signalled 6-0, a jab at air losses that India rubbishes. Sahibzada Farhan made machine gun gestures after scoring runs. The sportsmanship was gone. What remained were jabs and taunts rooted in real tragic conflict. Prime Minister Modi weighed in, clearly linking the cricket victory to Operation Sindoor. His tweet read, "Operation Sindoor on the game's field. Outcome the same. India wins." Once again, the message was unmistakable. India-Pakistan cricket now echoes the language of conflict and national triumph. Cricket talk is drowned out by abuse, memes, and hate campaigns. The backdrop is obvious. Everything changed after the Pahalgam terror attack in Kashmir. Pakistan's involvement was clear. India responded with missile strikes. Pakistan answered with drone attacks and dogfights. The ceasefire came, but the scars remain, and they rub off on the cricket ground. Now, instead of playing for sporting excellence, Indian and Pakistani cricketers play for national pride. Every ball, every run is judged like a battle, not just a game.
हम वेट कर रहे थे. आई थिंक आप टूर्नामेंट जीतते हो तो आप एटलीस्ट जो इतना अच्छा खेलते हो थ्रू आउट द टूर्नामेंट, अगर आप जीत गए हो तो आप ट्रॉफी डिजर्व करते हो या नहीं करते हो, आप ही बताओ.
To be very honest, this is very disrespectful to the game, not to anyone. If they are thinking they are doing disrespect to us, that's like, I think they are wrong there. They are disrespecting the game, which is like, I'm sure no one is going to obviously going to second that.
Look back at days of cricket serving as a diplomatic bridge. At least partially, they served to ease tensions at the people-to-people level. The Pakistan team's India tour in 1999 India's friendship series tour to Pakistan in 2004, Musharraf's cricket diplomacy in Delhi in 2005, and others did make a mark. But every time an act of Pak terror thwarted gains. The breakdown during the Asia Cup sets a worrying precedent for sports and diplomacy in South Asia. Cricket that was once a cultural bond is now a casualty of Pak-backed terror and nationalist geopolitics. Both cricket and stability in South Asia are suffering.
Pakistan-occupied Kashmir is witnessing its biggest unrest in years. Thousands have poured onto the streets, their anger directed squarely at the Pakistani government. Enough is what they say. In response, Islamabad has deployed thousands of troops, and what started as a protest for basic rights has now escalated into violent clashes, with at least 2 people reported dead. Our report looks at just why this volatile region has erupted once again.
Even ever-simmering regions of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir haven't seen anything like this. Mirpur, Kotli, Rawalkot and other districts have been paralyzed by a massive shutter down and wheel jam strike. Markets are closed, transport is at a standstill. The call for protest came from the Awami Action Committee, or AAC, a coalition that has successfully mobilized locals against what they call decades of neglect. The message from AAC leader Shaukat Nawaz Mir is defiant. Our campaign, he says, is not against any institution, but for the fundamental rights denied to our people for over 70 years. He warns the government to either deliver on rights or face the wrath of the people. Islamabad's response has been swift and severe. Thousands of troops from Punjab province have been brought in to crush the protests. An additional 1,000 police were sent from Islamabad. Entry and exit points to the region were sealed. And then a total communications blackout. Cellular networks, landlines and internet services were completely shut down, cutting residents off from the outside world. So what's driving this widespread anger? The protesters have a 38-point charter of demands. First, they want fair electricity prices. Locals are furious that massive projects like the Mangala Dam generate power from their land and rivers, yet they don't see the benefits. Second, they are demanding subsidized flour and checks on inflation as basic commodities become unaffordable. And they want an end to what they call elite privileges and corruption among politicians. A major point of contention is the 12 seats in the local assembly reserved for Kashmiri refugees living in Pakistan. Protesters say the system undermines their own right to representative governance. Protests turned violent when talks between the Awami Action Committee and the POK government collapsed. In Muzaffarabad, Pakistani police reportedly opened fire on protesters, killing 2 people and injuring many more. Clashes also broke out in Bagh, where locals allegedly captured a number of police personnel. But the people fought back. In this stunning act of defiance, protesters tossed massive shipping containers placed by security forces to block their path directly into a river. There's every sign of the movement escalating further. AAC leaders have called for a long march to the capital, Muzaffarabad. Convoys are coming in from multiple directions. The anger has spilled beyond POK to protests in London and Bradford. With neither the government nor the people now willing to back down, this region, for decades a geopolitical flashpoint, is now locked in a tense and volatile standoff with the Pakistani state. Are bigger shifts in the offing?
At least 41 lives were lost in a stampede at a political rally of actor Vijay in Tamil Nadu's Karur district. On 27th of September, thousands had come to attend the rally, not knowing the rally would turn into a nightmare they could have never imagined. As the inconsolable families plead for justice, 3 arrests have been made after the tragedy and political bickering still continues. Actor Vijay, who is also the TVK chief, is in the eye of the storm. Vijay was campaigning in the district of Karur for his party ahead of state elections early next year when the incident occurred. The ruling DMK has pinned the blame on actor Vijay and his party for the lapses that led to the fateful incident. His party functionary, Pon Raj, has been sent to judicial custody till October 14, who is said to have arranged flag poles and flex banners for TVK chief Vijay's campaign. Earlier, Chennai's cybercrime police arrested YouTuber Felix Gerald, accusing him of spreading misinformation. While Vijay demands federal probe, parallel probes are taking place in the tragedy. The state has appointed a commission led by a retired judge to investigate the cause of the stampede. The police have also registered a criminal case against leaders of Vijay's party. In his first video statement following the Karur stampede during his party rally, TVK chief expressed deep sorrow and addressed the ongoing political controversy over the incident. Vijay denied any negligence on his part and accused the Tamil Nadu chief minister of seeking revenge following the tragic stampede. And up next, we take a look at what else is making headlines in our Inside South Asia wrap.
Weeks after Gen Z protests toppled the government in Nepal, the country's interim regime has now frozen the passports of former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. The Judicial Commission formed to investigate the suppression of the Gen Z protests on September 8th and 9th that killed at least 72 people, recommended the seizure of the passports of the deposed Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli and 4 others. Alongside Oli, the passports of the former Home Minister, Home Secretary and former National Investigation Department Chief have also been seized. The Commission also announced that these individuals must obtain permission to leave Kathmandu. The panel, formed to investigate the incidents of September protests, plans to summon the individuals for questioning.
India has announced a landmark connectivity initiative with its neighbor Bhutan. An over 4,000 crore rupees or $454 million rail line project will connect the two countries, enabling a massive boost in multiple areas of cooperation. This cross-border railway initiative, led by Indian Railways, will enhance transport and strengthen diplomatic and economic ties between the two nations. India and Bhutan have agreed to develop 2 cross-border railway connections, one linking Banarhat in India's West Bengal to Samsi in Bhutan, and another connecting Assam's Kokrajhar to Galapu in Bhutan, while the Kokrajhar to Galapu rail link will be developed over the next 4 years. Banarhat to Samsi will be constructed over a period of 3 years.
Taliban authorities imposed a nationwide shutdown of communications weeks after they began severing fiber optic connections to prevent what they call a vice. Internet watchdog NetBlocks said connectivity was operating at less than 1% of its normal levels. It said Afghanistan is now in the midst of a total blackout as authorities move to implement morality measures. A nationwide digital blackout has cut off millions, particularly students, from vital education and communication channels.
At first, I was running 2 regular online classes, which became a strong platform for both learning and personal growth, practically for students who cannot attend physical schools and universities. Unfortunately, most of our students are now in Afghanistan and not have reliable internet access, so our classes are temporarily banned. And however, we are not giving up, and we will try our best to find solution for this.
I wanted to call my family, but none of the networks are working. All the networks have stopped. For the moment, I haven't reached my family. Nothing. Even the SIM cards aren't working. For the moment, I don't have any news from my family, and it's the same for my friends here whom I know.
From flight to banking, Every service has been affected. In the past, the Taliban have voiced concern about online pornography, and authorities cut fiber optic links to some provinces in recent weeks, with officials citing morality concerns.
On the 28th of September, the Taliban freed a U.S. citizen from an Afghan prison weeks after they said they had reached an agreement with U.S. envoys on a prisoner exchange as part of an effort to normalize relations. Handout images taken on September 28th show Bamiri on board a jet following his release in Kabul. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio welcomed the release of Amiri, said he had been wrongfully detained in Afghanistan, and thanked Qatar for helping to get him freed.
A 2-year-old girl in Nepal has been chosen as the country's new living goddess. She will now spend her childhood in seclusion inside a temple palace, worshipped by thousands during Nepal's biggest festivals.
A sacred journey through the alleyways of Kathmandu, carried by her family and surrounded by chanting devotees. 2-year-old Aryatara Shakya takes her first steps into divinity. Chosen as Nepal's new Kumari, or living goddess, she replaces 11-year-old Trishna Shakya, who held the role since 2017. By tradition, once the Kumari reaches puberty, she becomes mortal again. Aryatara has been moved to the Kumari Ghar, a historic temple palace that will now be her home for years to come. But being a Kumari comes with a life of isolation. They grow up largely indoors, with only a few chosen playmates, and step outside only during major festivals when they're wheeled around in a chariot. Life after divinity isn't simple either. Former Kumaris struggle to adapt to ordinary routines like attending school. Old beliefs even say men who marry a former Kumari will die young, leaving many of them unmarried. Yes, changes are being brought in. Kumaris now receive private tutoring inside the palace. They are allowed basic comforts like television. The government also provides a small monthly pension after retirement. From a toddler to a goddess, Aryatara Shakya's life has transformed overnight. For centuries, this tradition has fascinated the world, raising questions of faith, childhood, and change in modern Nepal.
Recently, the island nation of Sri Lanka held a unique fishing competition, urging its people to catch and cook invasive fish species, including the giant snakehead and piranhas that are now banned, considering the threat they pose to fragile freshwater ecosystems. So the question is, why did Sri Lanka come up with this initiative? Take a look at this report for more.
More than 1,000 anglers from all over Sri Lanka, armed with rods and bait, flocked to Aryatara town in northwestern province to participate in a fishing competition aimed primarily at culling the invasive giant snakehead fish at the Deduru Oya Reservoir. Jointly organized by 3 fishermen associations, the Fisheries Ministry and a popular anglers club, the fishing competition was held on 20th of September in a bid to support conservation of fish typically found in the dam, which includes the Labeo heladiva, a species of freshwater fish specific to Sri Lanka.
The aim of having this competition is to catch a large number of this fish and remove them from the reservoir. We are also hoping to send a message to the people not to throw these ornamental fish into waterways because it does immense damage.
In addition to the fishing competition, the import, sale and transportation of live redline, giant snakehead, knifefish, alligator gar and piranha was banned by the Fisheries Ministry from Saturday. Typically raised as pets, the giant snakehead fish, which can grow to more than a meter or 3.3 feet, have, over the last decade or so, inadvertently become a threat to the smaller native species after being released into rivers by owners. Despite the large turnout, however, the giant snakehead, very aggressive and with sharp teeth, proved elusive with only 22 of them, between 2 and 4 kilograms, being caught in the best angler competition. 2 anglers from India, Dinesh Kumar and Raj Tilak, also took part in the competition. But neither was able to bag a snakehead. Undaunted, Dinesh hopes to continue participating in future competitions and catch a lucky break soon.
So we heard this competition through a WhatsApp group. So we wanted to participate. We wanted to see what's happening in Sri Lanka about sport fishing. So we are surprised to see a huge crowd here, like more than 600 participants, and the crowd is more than 1,500 people are here with families. So that's good to see. No, we didn't catch anything, but that's fishing. We know we have been fishing for a very long time. Some days you get, some days you don't get. But that's fishing, but we enjoyed it thoroughly.
On the day labelled a success by the Fisheries Ministry, the enthusiastic response triggered hopes of a tourism spin-off in the campaign to rid Sri Lankan waters of the invasive species.